Welcome into Jets Nation Radio episode 10 there, folks. I'm your host, Angus Howitt, and to my podcast left, the voice of the Dauphin Kings, Darnell Duff. How's it going there, boss?
Man, pumped up. Happy to be here.
Oh.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, man. Been looking forward to this all week.
We're here now.
Yeah, here we are. So, if folks don't know you, they're not from Dauphin, they don't listen to the MJHL, well, you gotta know a few things about you. So, first question. When did you get into broadcasting?
I honestly I was a pretty young kid. Just loved sports. I was always around, listening to Bob Cole, basketball broadcasters. And I was the weirdo, like sitting in my basement, turning the volume off and just talking at the TV. So I don't know, the weird little kid who just loved sports for as long as I can remember. So a long time. I knew I wanted to get into broadcasting. Didn't know if it actually happened, but obviously now it has.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty awesome. Was there your favorite sports moment of all times?
Broadcasting wise?
Yeah.
I would have to say, certainly a couple of seasons ago, the Kings playoffs, Game 3 against Portage, Brady Tkachuk scored double overtime winner. We were the 7 seed going up against the 2 seed, and we lost the first 2 games of the series. It was pretty competitive though, and then Hobbs in double overtime. We won that game 1-0. And now Hobbs is playing Division 1 hockey, and Levi Mitchell, who's playing Division 3 hockey south of the border, made 45 saves in that game. So that's certainly the highlight. My heartbeat was going for a long time after that. Unfortunately, the season was canceled though a couple of days after because the whole pandemic that we're continuing to live through. But that was awesome. And then even as recent as earlier this week on Saturday, when Colby Jaquette scored the overtime winner against the Portage Terriers, a game in which we trailed 2-0. Pretty significant win. I mean, we got to 20 wins on the season and 8 in a row, won 19 in the last 22. So those are certainly the 2 calls. Hobbs is number 1, but I think that overtime winner from Jaquette's pretty close.
Oh, I'm so sad that I did not get to hear that Jaquette overtime winner from you last night.
I might have to get it out there just for you.
Oh, we'll definitely be posting that on the TikTok that we got for Jets Nation.
Oh yeah. Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, if you haven't checked us out on TikTok, we are on TikTok now. So if you want little clips of the podcast, that's where you'll find them. You'll also find us on Jets Nation on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, now TikTok, and yeah, check it out. And our website, jetsnation.ca. I've got betting articles coming up basically every game day. And is there a call that you remember listening to at any point in your life that just like stands out as like, wow?
I think the Washington play-by-play broadcaster's name is escaping me right now, but when they eliminated Pittsburgh en route to winning the Stanley Cup a couple of years ago, cool fact, Barry Trotz was the head coach. Of course, Barry is from Dauphin, but the Capitals broadcaster went along the lines of, this is the year after Pittsburgh just continues to beat Washington in the playoffs. Like, it's their number 1 enemy, I guess you would say, in the playoffs, for lack of a better term. But the Washington broadcaster on the game-winning goal was incredible, like exercising the demons and just the passion, the excitement that they finally beat Pittsburgh in a postseason series. That's the kind of stuff I love. That's the kind of, when you can just feel that passion, it's not forced. That's what I love, and that's what I, really listen to, and that's something that gets me going.
Well, if you haven't listened to Darnell call a game, you need to turn into 7:30 CKDM one of these game nights, because this guy is a legend and deserves to be in the NHL, and that's not even hyperbole. I genuinely believe that you should be broadcasting for at least the NHL.
Man, I appreciate it. I certainly, I love what I do. I have a lot of passion. I think I bring some excitement to the game, and a day and age where a lot of broadcasters aren't, or so I just love what I'm doing. So yeah, if you want to check it out, 730ckdm.com. Every single road game for the Kings in the playoffs, home and the road. So appreciate all the support, and at the end of the day, I'm pretty lucky that I get the chance to call hockey as my job.
Oh yeah, and I feel incredibly lucky that I get to board up those games, because there's nothing better on a Saturday night than listening to Darnell and getting paid for it.
A complete champion in the booth, by the way. the amount of times we've gone technical difficulties, everything's going downhill. This guy continues to grind out and get the job done. So literally without him, none of this, we would be talking about nothing of this, because nothing would get on the air. So a complete legend, a complete god. So yeah, I'm doing all the talking, but behind the scenes, if Angus wasn't here, there's no broadcast. So he's the man behind it all.
Well, I appreciate that. So we're going to get into the big question of the week. Do the Jets fire Paul Maurice? If so, why? If not, why not? What do you think?
My simple answer here is yes.
Okay.
I don't see. I know the Jets are coming off a win against the Calgary Flames. Sure, a couple of days prior they were hammered by the Minnesota Wild 7-1, completely embarrassed. Paul Maurice, at the end of the day, just isn't getting the job done. He still has Blake Wheeler on the first line, which is
garbage.
Ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. And it goes further than that. I've heard that him and Scheifele are cancers in the locker room. Of course, they're tight friends. But, and I'm not saying you should trade Scheifele or Wheeler, but I think it's maybe perhaps something to entertain. Paul Maurice, he hasn't taken the Jets anywhere. Yes, they had a pretty decent postseason run. He hasn't won.
He's the losingest coach of all time.
Which is, I know the Jets are all built around, they want to give, they don't like firing people. But at the same time, you have fans that are paying thousands and thousands upon dollars every single year to watch 41 hockey games. And you're putting that talent on the ice. There's some talent, sure, but they're not getting the job done. This team is, in my opinion, would be way better off if they just gave Maurice the boot and move forward.
Yeah, well, the fact that the Jets were winning so much without Scheifele and Wheeler. And yeah, no, I'm not a fan of Maurice. The fact the power play has gone, I believe, 1 for 28 in the last, I think November 6th was the date that they've actually had success on the power play. So there's that. Third worst, because they jumped ahead of Arizona on the penalty kill. So
thank goodness.
Yeah, right. Nothing worse than being, and ahead of Vancouver, so we can brag about that. But there's just so much going wrong. The Jets had that 7-game losing streak towards the end of the last season, 4-game losing streak this season. It's embarrassing. And with Ehlers on the third line, who are you? Do you put
what?
Ehlers has been playing on the third line for the last 2 games.
It's absurd. That's just absurd. That is silly.
Yeah.
Like, that's ridiculous. That Nikolai Ehlers.
Yeah, my man, number 27, playing on the third line. It's a garbage move. Paul Maurice has to go. So, I guess that moves into the second question. Who would you want to see as the replacement?
4 guys. Gerard Gallant is 1. Second, Bruce Boudreau. Third, Ricard Gronberg. And Todd Nelson.
Oh, we both put Todd Nelson down. I love that.
You have to be Todd Nelson. Richard Gronberg, though, pretty awesome story. He hasn't coached in the NHL, or there hasn't been a European coach, rather, in the NHL for like 2 decades. This guy coaches in Swiss. He's Swiss. He's the Swiss team, the SC Lions, as well as the Swedish national team. Everywhere he's gone, he's been a proven champion. And I think it would look good on the NHL to perhaps, not that the NHL is making the decision, but an organization that's playing in the NHL to make that decision to go overseas. And with that, all of a sudden that coach comes to America, comes to the NHL. That is just growing the game in Switzerland and in Sweden as well. So I think Gronberg would be a pretty good option. But Gerard Gallant, I don't know how the guy isn't in the game.
Right? How does Gerard Gallant not have a job right now?
What did Vegas do? Why did they fire him?
They want to win. Their owner is insane, is what I've heard. And basically, if he's not looking at a chance to win a cup, he will cut a guy just like that.
Even after what he did in year 1?
Yeah, I know, right? That's insane. But that was a Cinderella story. No one expected.
No, yeah.
And you look at the Kraken this year, that's what Vegas should have been.
Vegas shouldn't have been that good in year 1.
No.
I think that's complete garbage.
They still shouldn't be this good.
Which, I think the NHL figured it out this time where, all right, Seattle, you're not going to be that good. Vegas should have never been that good. Gerard Gallant should still be in the NHL. Mind-boggling. The Winnipeg Jets have to be staring at Gallant as the number 1 candidate, in my opinion, if they get rid of Maurice, who should be sent to the curb.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We talked about this earlier this week. I think Maurice has got some dirt on Cheveldayoff, even darker than what happened with Chicago. Sorry to bring that up again, but there's got to be some sort of dirt, because there's no way you let the most losingest coach in the NHL take the reins for this long.
It just makes me think that Winnipeg, Cheryl Dayoff, they're okay with mediocrity every year. Because, yes, Winnipeg's going to make the postseason. They're going to have a winning record, but they're not going to get anywhere. First round at best, in my opinion, second round at this point with Paul Maurice. So, yeah, sure, if you're the Jets organization, that's what you want every year. Keep Paul Maurice, but if you want to keep your fans happy that pay the salaries for everybody every single year, by the way, it's like tickets are absurd these days.
They are, and actually, it's really interesting. The last couple home games, they've had 1,500 empty seats. So it's probably a mixture of the pandemic and folks from Winkler not getting their vaccine. That's right, we're calling you out, Southern Health Region, and the price of tickets. So
the home opener, this is the first home opener for the Jets that hasn't sold out since they came back. That, I know COVID, sure, but the buzz would have been at an all-time high.
Yeah.
Fans can finally be back in the rink.
That should have been 100%. Yeah.
That's embarrassing that it wasn't.
Yeah. As a Jets fan, this is incredibly embarrassing. So Paul Maurice needs to go. I agree with Todd Nelson. I would like the European pick. I never would have guessed that. And I guess Dave Lowry kind of throws some interest to me.
He does.
Because I wouldn't mind seeing him as a head coach.
He's already there.
He'd probably make up for all of the bad mistakes that Maurice has, and we're good to go. The other guy that I had written down was Pascal Vincent, the former head coach of the Moose and now assistant coach for the Blue Jackets. He knows the system. He's brought guys up like Kyle Connor, Logan Stanley, Ehlers. Why not let the guy go and see what he can do in the NHL?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. At least get rid of Maurice now and give Vincent the rest of the year.
Well, he's in...
I know he's in Columbus right now. I understand. But give him an opportunity. I don't believe in Maurice. I love the Lowry pick, though. Lowry has done awesome everywhere he's gone. He came from the Brandon Lee Kings. He has great things to say about the Winnipeg Jets. The Jets have said, Paul Maurice has said on a presser that Lowry is one of the top assistant coaches he's ever coached alongside. Give Lowry a chance to prove what he can do at the NHL level, which he has done with Team Canada at the major junior level with the Wheat Kings and the Calgary Hitmen. Give Lowry a chance, but I also like that Pascal Vincent pick too.
Yeah, well, gotta keep it simple.
I agree.
Going across the NHL, but also keeping a little bit local. Former Winnipeg Jet Brendan Lemieux bit Brady Tkachuk last night and drew blood.
What?
Yeah, bit him on the hand. Like, what's going on with Brendan Lemieux?
It's ridiculous. That's absurd.
Yeah.
That should not be in the game. That's suspendable.
How many games?
For sure. I want to see several.
Several? Like, what? How many are you thinking here?
7, 8.
7, 8? See, I'm going all the way in. I'm going 20 games.
You
drew blood. You bit a guy?
What are you thinking?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I don't care.
You can't bite.
No, I don't care if a guy's feeding you to your face on the ice. You accept it and you throw whatever you can back, but don't bite it, guys. Yeah, we might. I don't like the Tkachuk brothers. I like Brady more than Matthew, but don't bite a guy.
And that's the rumor. I'm hearing a lot of people saying, well, Tkachuk's not a great guy. Tkachuk deserved that. Garbage take. Tkachuk does not deserve to get bit on the ice. You talk about attempt to injure.
That's
in my opinion. That's it, and you're intentionally trying to hurt a man. Yeah. What else? That's complete garbage. Should be out of the game. Lemieux should be on the in the press box for a long time.
He can play playing in Russia for all I care.
Sure, go to Russia. Go to Russia. They have people biting people on their hands every game. It's Russia. Anything happens. And the NHL looks bad on the NHL if they don't hand him a big fine. A big fine and a big suspension. 20 games I'm okay with. Garbage play, get out of here.
Well, okay. So I'm actually going to circle back to a question we didn't talk about before the podcast. But the $5,000 fine, the max fine they can give, they need to up that.
Why? $5,000? That's like a penny.
That's like $20 to us.
What was Panarin just got $5,000
for chucking a fucking glove. Sorry for swearing, kids. For chucking a glove at the ultimate rat, Brad Marchand. Say what you want about Brad Marchand, but $5,000 for chucking a glove? Come on, George Peros. Just because you were a goon back in the day doesn't mean you need to be harming or making legitimate star players lose money. And $5,000 for a throwing of the glove when McDavid takes a cross check into a net against Arizona the other night with no suspension, no nothing, no fines. It's garbage. It's a bad look on the NHL. George Parros actually needs to go.
It makes me wonder, does Parros get like bonuses for making bonehead calls like this? Like,
you have to think.
Come on, tossing a glove 15 feet. Like, what is gonna happen? Like, that's ridiculous. Come on, man. Like, sure, yeah, a slap on the head. Don't do that again. But
yeah, give him $500, but $5,000 for chucking the glove when other blatant missed calls happen all the time. It's such a bad look for the NHL. I genuinely believe that they need to have like a star player become the head of the PA or safety there, just because of they understand what it's like to get hacked and slashed all game long.
Parros didn't know that because he would just go and be the goon.
Oh yeah,
he wasn't the one getting hacked.
No,
and if he was, he'd just try and take your head off.
Yeah. So George Parros legitimately needs to go.
Smart enough.
Yeah, smart enough. Last night, Milan Lucic decides to run Demlo into the boards. Big ol' boarding call. So happy to see Lucic ejected from the game. But that's got to be a couple of games. That's got to be 3 games right there.
Well, I know this is a hot take. Yes, it wasn't a clean play, but how dirty was it?
Well, so DeMello was a couple feet away from the board.
Yeah.
And he came right for the numbers. I think that's an easy 4 games, especially with the record that Lucic has.
I think on the hit, Lucic sort of raised at the end, and DeMello was spinning around almost as he was trying to pivot the other way. It's not a clean hit, yes, for sure. And I could see a suspension happening. When we talk about extreme dirty hits,
oh, it's not the dirtiest. We've seen way worse.
I don't think this is that bad. Yeah, the impact is bad, of course. DeMello's going, skating it fast, and as is Lucic, and any time or any kind of impact there is going to make for a big crunch and a big hit. And I know you're taught to when you see the numbers, you stop. I understand that, but even minor hockey has stop logos on the back of their jerseys. I know that, but I don't think it was that too terribly dirty. Was it clean? No. Could I see a couple of games suspension? Yes. But I do not want things going overboard here. Oh, no. I don't think it was that bad.
No, it's not the worst boarding I've ever seen. I still think it's 3 games considering Lucic is an absolute monster. He's got to be, 6'3", 2.
Well, it doesn't help that it's Milan Lucic. For someone else, this might, just be swept to the side. But because it's Lucic, the NHL likes to make examples of player like Lucic, because they don't want that around the league anymore.
Yeah, well, especially when I was watching the Oilers religiously, I remember there was one time he just came out of a face-off and bumped a guy, and just immediate arm up, 3 games. Yeah. And you're wow, Lucic got screwed on that one. But this is the one where I think Lucic needs this good slap on the wrist.
For sure. Yeah, I could see 2 games. I could see 3 games. I just don't want to see, in the 5 to 6 to 7 range. Just, I don't think it was that bad. Like I said, if it was another player, it's maybe not even a suspension, but because it's Lucic and he's been known to, be a goon at times. Although I don't think this was that much of a goon, I think he'll probably get 2 or 3.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I'll take 3 games on that one. So moving back closer to the Jets, Kyle Connor scores another 2 goals last night. For as bad as the Jets have been for the last week, it's nice to see that guy putting up some goals.
So solid. So solid. I've heard he's fantastic in his dressing room. Just a good guy on and off the ice. But on the ice, he's propelling this team.
The Jets would be a joke without Kyle Connor.
I was just going to say, the Jets are pretty mediocre with Kyle Connor. How bad would they be without Kyle Connor?
They'd be probably sitting around with Chicago and Arizona at this point.
I know this is Jets podcast, but I gotta say Chicago. What a dismal season they're
Wow.
I expected good things.
I thought they were going to be bad, but I didn't expect them to be
Seth Jones.
Seth Jones.
I should be demoted to the UHL.
Right?
He doesn't even not even a league.
Yeah, it's not even the EHH or ECHL. It's below that. If that guy was making that bad of plays in Edmonton, he would have been run out of town.
Oh, 100%. I was surprised. I was actually surprised the coach for Chicago. Well, kind of surprised, but also kind of not surprised. I mean, they were 1-13 or something when he got let go. But I don't care. I don't care how good of a coach you are. With everything that was all the drama going on in Chicago, how were you expected to coach? And get the best out of these players.
Oh, yeah.
How? You can't.
Yeah, no, like, we'll talk Chicago. We got time. I think Chicago just needs a full rebuild. They need to get rid of Kane. They need to get rid of Taves. Just gone. Because the whole team's just garbage. I feel a little worse for Marc-Andre Fleury. That guy gets traded for peanuts. Maybe 2 peanuts, really. And he has to go to Chicago. Like, I feel so bad for that guy.
And now like hockey fans, but not really hockey fans. They're just hockey fans because they like to drink with the boys. I like, oh man, Marc-Andre Fleury, he's terrible. This is what we expect from Marc-Andre Fleury. No, man. Come on.
That guy needs to be in the Hockey Hall of Fame, and if people are going to be like, look at his one season in Chicago, look at what's in front of Marc-Andre Fleury. That's an embarrassment. I feel so bad for that guy.
Do we think Marc-Andre Fleury is on the same level as Vasilevsky?
Ooh. No.
No? Close?
So, like, it's Connor Hellebuyck, Vasilevsky, and they're like 1A, 1B, best goalies in the NHL. Carter Hart and Fleury are like the 1B.
Okay, so 1B. So let's just compare this. Vasilevsky goes to Chicago. He gets lit up. Fans are going to be saying that, fans that like to have cold ones with the boys on a Sunday night are going to say, oh, Vasilevsky, a cup champion. Oh, he's not good. No, don't be silly.
Yeah.
Fleury's, as you said, Hockey Hall of Fame. The guy is incredible. His resume, what he does. Chicago's lucky to have 7 wins this season with what's going on. All the drama, the performance by Seth Jones, Jonathan Taves, Patrick Kane, all that. They're lucky to have 7 wins at this time. Marc-Andre Fleury is a stud. Perhaps he's even going to the Olympics next year. I guess it is next year.
Yes.
If the NHL even goes to the Olympics, I've been hearing some big time rumors that they're going to be pulling the plug because there's a new COVID variant and everything that's going on in China. But
well, the rumor is the reason they want to cancel is because the players would be under a 3-week lockdown quarantine. So even if let's just say day 13 of the Olympics happens, Connor Hellebuyck gets COVID, well, he's stuck in China for the next 3 weeks. So that's an extra 2 weeks without Connor Hellebuyck if he were to get COVID in China.
And you're already taking a 2-week break from the schedule.
Yeah.
So that could be, a month. So COVID obviously still, bearing some pretty disastrous problems this pandemic, but.
Well, and the other thing is, Ottawa's taking a couple games off. The Islanders are taking a few games off. So they're going to have to.
So it's going on around the league.
Yeah.
I love how the league is, continuing to push through and continuing to go forward, just rescheduling some games. The NBA, I don't know if the NBA's had to actually reschedule one game this year. They're doing great. But all these major sports leagues, I'm happy they're back in full tilt. But I can understand if the NHL players don't go to the Olympics, but I won't be watching Olympic hockey if
No.
So I'm sorry for all those diehards out there, but I won't be.
Yeah, well, for 2018, how embarrassing was it to wake up at some ungodly time, watch Team Canada barely beat Team Germany, and it's like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
And then the Russians end up winning anyways. And to be perfectly honest, I could see Russia winning.
Oh, hands down. If there's no NHL, Russia could win if there is NHL. It's a long shot,
yeah,
but they could. But you got Ovechkin, and Ovechkin can score. But if there's no NHL, it's like a shoe-in. Russia will just hammer because the KHL is a pretty sick league.
It's definitely the second best league in the world.
So, if there's no NHL, don't watch hockey. Russia's going to win. If you're a Russian fan, sure, you'll be pumped up.
Yeah, but I don't want to be waking up at 4 a.m. just to be watching bad Team Canada hockey. Who wants to watch? Who would they even bring in? Are we talking about Clayhammer again?
Calvin Pickard?
Calvin Pickard, I forgot about that.
Well, yeah, who doesn't? Remember when he played in the Western Hockey League and he won the Memorial Cup and he dropped the trophy?
Oh, yeah.
And broke it on the ice? That was great. That was the great. I don't even talk about Calvin. Well, I guess I do talk about him winning a championship, but the thing you most remember about him winning a championship was the fact that he broke the championship he won. So,
Calvin Pickard, WHL legend.
Oh man, not an NHL one by any means. But I don't know. I hope the NHL goes because
There's nothing better than...
No, you put the best players from each country against each other. There really isn't anything grander up there.
Well, and to watch McDavid and Crosby play on the same line, just once. That's all I want.
Man, what a treat that's going to be.
Man.
That's going to, like, that is legit going to be absolutely incredible.
Gary Bettman needs to figure out some sort of a system where he's just like, oh, if we didn't go to the NHL, we'll bring back... What was that tournament they had a few years ago?
Oh, the World Cup of Hockey.
World Cup of Hockey. They need to do that again, but they need to get McDavid and Crosby on the same team pre-season, and I want to watch that. Like, start that tournament in August. That way the guys aren't burnt out going into the season.
Man, that would be so... Just the thought of McDavid, what he does by himself, like... How many times this season he's just made defenders look absolute silly. Like they should be playing junior P hockey.
Well, like when he made Larry, Stanley, and I can't remember who the third guy was on that play, but just making them look silly against Winnipeg a few weeks ago. Or when he made the Rangers look real bad.
He went through all 5 players, did he not, with the Rangers?
4 of those players, 4 guys, and a goal.
And then made the goalie look silly.
And then John Tortorella's like, it's not that great. It's only one guy, really. It's like, piss off, man.
Stop talking, Tortorella. Stop.
You won 1 cup in 2004. Get off your high horse. That's all you're good for. And that was Martin St. Louis doing 95% of the work, and Gary Bettman rigging the game for the Flames. I hate the Flames, and they should have won the cup in 2004. I don't care. 17 years ago, I'm still mad.
Man, even Logan Couture with the San Jose Sharks, he was on a podcast the other day with Darren Millard, and they were watching as they were on a charter flight. The Sharks were watching in awe what Connor McDavid was doing, and then you're gonna put it with Sidney Crosby.
Insane.
My God.
Imagine if McKinnon's on that line as well. I think they're all left-handed.
What do you do if you have all those 3 of them?
I think you just sit down, you're like, I have a pylon. I can't do anything about this.
I feel bad for goalies. I legitimately feel bad for goalies going up if it is McKinnon on the line with Crosby and McDavid.
And then let's just say hypothetically you throw Drew Doughty and Darnell Nurse back there as well. Like, you just get like some super crew. And, I don't even know. Who would you bring in as a Team Canada's netminer?
Carey?
You go Carey?
I think I go Carey.
I go Hart. That guy's turned it around this season.
He has, but I don't think he's proven yet.
You don't think
I
so?
think he was pretty horrid last year.
Yeah, he was, but he turned... I blame that all on COVID. I think because goalies are a little bit strange.
They're weird people, for sure.
So I think with the way a lot of goaltenders talk about post-pandemic, they were just like, I couldn't hang out with my family, couldn't get into my regular little weird routine. I think Carter Hart...
Well, even Koskinen was saying that was a big problem last year when he couldn't stop a beach ball that was inflated times 10. But he said now he has his family, and I love Stuart Skinner, by the way. I love the Skinner story. Yeah. That former champion in Western Hockey too.
Also a little bit sad that he stopped everything. Just I know it's still 2 weeks ago, but man, that was so frustrating. 1 goal on 47 shots. Yeah. That kid is insane. And I genuinely wish he was a Jet, but away she goes. A little bit earlier this week, we talked about the Team Canada jerseys. What are your thoughts?
I don't like it.
Not a fan?
No, not a fan.
Yeah.
That's, I've had a couple of people ask me that, and my simple answer was, I don't want to say I like them, but I don't want to say I don't like them.
Yeah, they're ugly, but you can't hate them, but you can't love them. They're like your middle child.
They're Team Canada, so at the end of the day, I'm going to support them. So, but I'm
not going to buy one.
No. I think it's a miss, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Yeah, I'm still going to love them if Connor McDavid is playing on that first line with Sidney Crosby and why is the name escaping me? McKinnon.
Yeah, it is a stupid line. I can't stop thinking about it. Kyle Connor, I'd love to see Connor and Connor going together.
Yeah.
Because I think they'd have a really good chemistry.
Yeah, I agree.
If we're going to bring up 8 Jets player during this.
Also, but Carey Price, yes.
Carey Price
is the goalie for Team Canada.
You know what? If Mike Smith actually didn't get hurt, I wouldn't be shocked if they were talking about him towards getting closer. Because that guy was so good.
Yeah, but not more.
No, well, he's still so good.
He can be good. He's just because he covers he doesn't move quick.
No, not like he used to, but he's still just such an old man. I love that.
I love when an old man like that has success in the NHL.
Yeah. All right, so the fun question of the week: do you take 2 Connors of Connor Hellebuyck? Okay, let's reverse this a little bit. You're the GM of a hockey team. Mm-hmm. You get the option. You get first overall draft, and they're like, this is a real special, weird draft. You get to either draft Kyle Connor and Connor Hellebuyck, or you get to draft Connor McDavid. Who are you taking?
Oh man, I know you're completely sold on him. I'm not completely sold on Connor Hellebuyck.
Really?
No, not at all. Not when it comes down to crunch time. I'm not sold on Connor Hellebuyck.
You're the second guy I've talked to in the last week who's not super on board.
Not at all. Far from, in fact. Not on the Connor Hellebuyck train. And when you put up Connor against Connor McDavid, it's not. Kyle Connor is fantastic, but he's not at the same level as Connor McDavid. So, based on not being sold on Hellebuyck to get it done, and Connor McDavid being Connor McDavid, every day of the week, including a day that doesn't count, and isn't a thing, Connor McDavid, for sure. Easy. Without a question.
Wow. See, I'm still sold on Hellebuyck. I still think he can get the job done at the end of the week.
Connor McDavid.
But if you have an all-star goaltender like Hellebuyck, who's going to win a medal in the Olympics this year, it's not going to be gold because Canada's going to be too good, but he's going to win a medal.
Yeah,
I think if he had a better defensive core in front of him, he would be Vasilevsky numbers. He would be .950 save percentage. That I genuinely
I'm not at all a fan of him. And even at times this year, he's been horrid.
Yeah, he started off the season really badly. I was looking at his stats early just to see if that's a standard. Nope. This was a bad start for him.
I'm not saying.
And he has let a goal in from Chris Tanev from the other blue line.
Which is embarrassing. Its own self should never happen.
Should never let Chris Tanev score on you to begin with.
Yeah, that's the first bad thing. Then you see it's from the blue line, the opposing blue line. Oh man.
Yeah, that was a rough one to watch last year.
I'm not a big fan of Connor Hellebuyck. He's not in my top goalies in the NHL that I want. I know that's a hot take with some. That's my thoughts. Connor McDavid, though, you cannot replace Jesus on the ice on skates. It's Connor McDavid 7 days a week.
Wow.
Easy. It's not even a question. It's just so simple to me that it's Connor McDavid.
All right. So, getting closer to the end of this podcast. Next 3 games for the Jets. Arizona Coyotes, New York not Jets. Fuck the Jets. The other Jets, not these Jets. The New Jersey Devils and the Toronto Maple Leafs. What's the Jets record over the next 7 days?
Well, I have Jack Campbell on my fantasy. Actually, I traded him to a good buddy, which still breaks my heart. But a loss against the Leafs, because the Leafs are going on all cylinders right now, as they do until the postseason comes around. The New Jersey Devils, I think the Devils are going to inch out a win, 3-2. And just because it's the Arizona Coyotes, it's going to be the Jets beating the Coyotes. So I think the Leafs, or the Jets rather, are going to go 1-2 in their next 3 games. I think they're going to continue their mediocre play. They're going to show they're really good against Arizona, but really, if you win 6-2 against Arizona,
good for you. Yeah, you did it.
It doesn't mean much because everybody in their apples can beat it. Everybody in their grandma can beat the Arizona Coyotes. So.
Oh yeah, it's embarrassing to watch that team. I've tried a few times just to see what's up. It's like, oh, poor Phil Kessel.
Yeah, I feel bad for Glendale. I know they're moving. I think one of the rumors was Tempe, but I feel bad for just that organization every year. I love when a team like that makes the playoffs and are competitive. I know for a roster they have, that's just not going to happen. And I feel bad, but at the same time I don't, because it's up for them to assemble a roster that is even half decent, which they aren't. But I think that's the Jets only win in their next 3, 1-2, and they'll move on from there probably with Paul Maurice. I know. It should just get done.
They should.
Simple as that. Like it has to happen. You have to get rid of Paul Maurice to have any success. He's going to lead the team to the postseason, sure.
But that's because he's got great players in front of him. Connor Hellebuyck is saving that dude's job. Straight up.
Oh, 100%.
If Connor Hellebuyck just accepts that if he were just to play mediocre hockey, he would be in the AHL and everyone would be after his head. So, not a fan of Paul Maurice anymore. But I'm going to be slightly optimistic. I think the Jets go 2-1 on this. And they'll drop that game to the Leafs, but I think it's going to be a close one with the Leafs.
I mean, they should go 2-1. I mean, the
should.
Devils aren't that good, very good, and the Coyotes are awful. So they should go 2-1, which will take them to 12 wins on the season. Maurice will look like a genius because they beat two teams that they should beat 9 times out of 10, and then they lose to the Toronto Maple Leafs. So it's
and losing to the Jets are phenomenal against teams with that high-end talent. Look at when the Jets play the Oilers. They shut down McDavid. They shut down
because these players are getting up for those games, and it's easy if you're not theoretically, if you're Kyle Connor and you're going up against Connor McDavid, the only talk going into the game really is about McDavid. And as a top-end elite player, sure, Kyle Connor would get some talks about him, but for the most part, it's all shifted to McDavid. And if you're Kyle Connor, that gives you some fuel in your engine that you want to beat him on that given night and show that how real you are when you're going up against the best player in the world.
Fair enough. Yeah, I guess if I had top radio people listening to me, I guess I would want to suit up and look real good or the best that I could. So.
Well, I mean, they always say that it's always easy to get up playing against a team that's first place in the league, but it's tough. You usually always play down when you're playing a team that's sixth in the league. It's the same thing for players as well. It's easy to get up when you're playing against a top player, and you play down a level when you play against a tough team, which I think was what the Winnipeg Jets have done this season, which is one reason why Paul Maurice should be gone, because as a head coach, you have to motivate these guys to play not only good against top teams, but against teams that are near the bottom and near you.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
fair. All right, and final question of the week. We're going to hot and cold performers of the week. You have your hot and cold performers of the week ready to go?
Well, I have to say my hot performer, and you said it could be anything.
Yep.
So I'm going to say Caden Bryant, number 22 for the Dauphin Kings. In the showcase earlier this week, as you heard, he had 6 goals, back-to-back hat-tricks, as the Kings now have 20 wins on the season. And then yesterday, he scored another goal. And he's also scored a goal on Friday. So in the past 4 games, the 20-year-old from Winnipeg has 8 goals. He's a former player of the year, forward of the year in the Manitoba AAA U18 Hockey League. So it has to go to Caden Bryant, the hot player of the week, no doubt about that. I wanted to say Alexander Ovechkin. I really did.
Well, he took a puck off the chops and then scored a hat trick in that game.
And he's one power play goal behind Dave Andrechuk.
Yep.
For the most
power play goals in the NHL of all times. 248 is what he needs for it to tie.
Yep, and he's at 247 or 246, I should say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Math is escaping.
It's hard.
It is.
That's why
it's Sunday night. We're not mathematicians, I tell you. Jesus. But that's a hot performer. Cold performer. I was ready and prepared to say, unfortunately, someone on the Jets was the cold performer, but they picked up a big win against the Calgary Flames last night. So you can't say they're the cold performers. I think. Can you come back to me, because I'm still thinking about
we'll
the
come
cold
back
performer.
to the cold performer.
I want to hear yours though, and that'll probably branch off, because I have a few in my head, but I want to make sure I pick the right one and not one that's too stupid, too silly.
Hey, you just take it wherever you want, but that's the fun thing about podcasts. There's no structure.
What a wonderful world of podcasts.
Right? It's podcasts that are going to kill the radio star. But my hot performer of the week is actually going to the Cowboy Chris Russell. I know we've talked a lot of Oilers on this podcast. We're Oilers fans. Well, the Oilers are my number 2 team. But Chris Russell becoming the all-time blocked shots leader. Over 2,000 block shots in the NHL. That's impressive. I've blocked maybe 6 shots playing beer league hockey. And I'm just like, I've had farm boys just shoot at my upper body and it hurts, and I've cried a little bit on the bench because I'm bruised.
But that's
2,000 shots. And that guy's insane.
Must I say about you, that's 6 more block shots than a lot of people have had.
Yeah.
So credit where credit's due.
Well, I don't wear a cage or any mouth guards when I play hockey too. So yeah.
You're living on the wild side.
Just a bucket, no visor, no nothing. Yeah, play old school. If I could find a Jaffa bucket, you definitely would see me out there with one.
Oh man, legendary. I love the wood sticks.
Oh, I'm all about the wood sticks too.
First of all,
$15, sure.
Oh yeah, like 1/75th of the price of You get, I think Noah.
Yeah, he spent like $350 and one of them busted on him.
And it's got like a hole in the middle. I've never really seen it before, but it was like, $400. Get a wood stick, a shearwood at Canadian Tire right now for $12.99 in the outdoor rinks, and that baby's durable. That's the thing. These wood sticks are actually durable, opposed to these other ones they have now that break so quickly.
I know. Well, it's like I don't mind like the flex on the stick. I don't play enough to like deserve one of those. But like I've had my wood stick for 4 seasons now. She's a beauty. She's going strong. I think once the rinks up here freeze, I'll be out there.
Good to go.
Probably bust that stick halfway through this season.
But the good thing is, all you need is like a cold 20, and you can get a new one. You can even get a pop with the change you have.
Oh, absolutely.
You're not living the worst.
But I mean, like on my parlays, I've been crushing it lately. I know we don't. My parlays this last 3 weeks, I went three days hot.
What I am is extremely jealous because I just don't know how. And if there's some tips out there on how to win I should just ask Angus because this guy keeps winning parlays. Every day he's telling me, oh, I won this, I won that. Me, I'm like, oh, I lost that. It doesn't make sense. It makes sense. I call sports silly sometimes because I think I should be a millionaire. I know every sports gambler in the world thinks that. But I one of those things is.
Well, last night was a rough one. But my cold performer of the week was the guy that actually blocked me in my driveway this week. I was pretty pissed. Just parked in front of right behind my car. Like, not enough room to get out. And then, like, when I knocked on all of the doors, he got mad at me for asking him to move.
Oh.
Yeah, so that guy, you're my cold performer of the week for being a dink and, like, just assuming you could park wherever the hell you want.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. And to get mad about it after the fact, that's, like, what really got to me.
I hope this guy's watching this right now because you're brutal.
Yeah.
That's terrible. Why do you gotta shit on his name? Oh,
yeah.
No time for that garbage.
No. So, yeah, don't park behind people there, folks. Be better than that.
Be better. Hashtag be better.
Be better. You got a cold performer of the week?
Cold performer king. Coming back to the MJHL. I know. So, this all started a couple of weeks ago in Swan Valley against the Stampeders where basically they had said I was being too loud on the broadcast. They were mocking me and chirping me on the air. So that was a whole thing. Ended up leading to canceling the broadcast the following week. So that happened, and then at the showcase this past week, Dave Anthony, and I hope Dave Anthony that you're watching this, he decided, because he was doing the showcase games for some reason, not sure why, whatever it is, what it is, I suppose. He was on the air and said, well, in case you didn't hear us, Darnell's in the other broadcast booth. So he's chirping me on the air. It's like, come on, guys, have some class. You're representing your teams right now. You're representing the Manitoba Junior Hockey League. Nothing is being done about it. Have class, be professional, be a homer if you want to, which I know most are. Do what you got to do, but just, you don't chirp other broadcasters. You don't mock other broadcasters. You got scouts watching this. You got prospective players, and you hear broadcasters talking about that kind of stuff. Being too loud as a broadcaster?
Doesn't exist.
You want to go to bed? Oh, Stanley plays that over to Lowry. Lowry back at the net. No!
Oh, did you? I don't know if you watched the Jets game on Wednesday. I'm sorry, we gotta go back to that.
Well,
they had
Leah Hextall?
Leah Hextall.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not a huge fan. Like, she's better than the guys in Detroit and in with the Islanders, and better than the guys in Tampa Bay. But that's about it. I'm not totally sold on her yet. And I know some people are gonna be like, "You're a sexist," but
that's not the case. No, like,
it's just like she's very flat,
monotone.
Yeah,
just it's the same thing. And the thing that bugged me at times was the dead air.
Yeah,
there would be dead air for like 15 to 20 seconds where nothing was being said, and then she would come back and say that puck stumped in, and that's followed by another big patch of dead air. Like, I understand in TV we could see everything going on, so you don't have to be as descriptive as you have to be on the radio to, paint a picture because you can't see it. But no reason for dead air.
Well, and then she would over-describe things as well. It's like, I'm not listening on the radio. Like, this isn't the 90s anymore. Like, we get pretty much all 82 games on air.
Yeah. So I'm not. I wasn't.
Not totally sold on her.
Awesome for her. Congratulations. You made the NHL. You got every broadcaster's dream job.
Yeah, I mean, she started in Winnipeg, just going to games, calling them for free, just doing her own little thing. Yep. So tons of respect, because like I thought about that as a kid, never went for it because I was embarrassed. So all the props to her for like going above and beyond, working her ass off, and getting to the top. But
not a big fan of her broadcast.
Yeah. Still better than Cassie Campbell, though.
There's some tough ones out there.
Yeah.
Let's just put it. But, you know, I know she's going to do more Winnipeg games because it...
And I think she's going to get better. Like, that was
for sure, absolutely.
NHL game, like...
I mean, she's doing games full-time on ESPN. Maybe she's not anymore, because she probably not be.
Did you hear she dropped that F-bomb during the Dallas game?
No, she didn't.
Right in the middle of the game. Just big old... Fuck's sakes.
No.
Yeah, dead serious. ESPN.
No, that's bad. Maybe she's not working for ESPN anymore. And that's why she's doing Jets games. I could see her doing many more Jets games moving forward, but I just don't think it's the right one.
No, well, I mean...
I'm not a big fan of Harder Ryan Singh either, though.
No.
I will say that as well. Not a fan at all.
I'm half on the fence with him. Sometimes he wins me over. Like, Louis DeBrusk and him have brutal...
Terrible conversation.
Yeah.
No, they just don't have that chemistry, which is kind of weird. That they've been doing so many games together and you don't have the chemistry, but at that same time, it just shows that it's just not the right fit, and you're just trying to force it. It's just not the right fit.
No.
It's not.
Yeah.
But I guess there's some people out there probably saying they love those broadcasts.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Of course, two sides of the coin always, but...
Yep. Well, that's pretty much it for Jets Nation Radio episode 10. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Have yourself a great week. We'll be back next Sunday. You're going to be joining us again?
Next Sunday. After the Tractor Lotto for the Kings, but if we could do like a late show around
we can do a late show.
I'm all in.
All right. And you know what? If you live in the Dauphin area, get yourself a Tractor Lotto ticket for the Dauphin Kings. Support local hockey. We'd love to see it. And maybe get yourself $100,000 richer.
$100,000 right before Christmas.
Gotta love it. Get your tickets now. TractorLotto.ca. Peace and grace. We'll see you next week.